Am I the asshole for giving my childhood best friend an ultimatum about attending my wedding? I've been called a bridezilla for this, so I'm open to honest feedback. Ella and I have been friends since first grade. Ella has another childhood friend, Cam, who she's known since kindergarten. We're currently all 26. Background info. Cam and I were friends as kids, but naturally drifted as we aged into adolescence, adulthood. We were almost always on friendly terms. Ella and I grew closer as we got older. All three of us attended the same college, big state school. Ella and I lived together all 4 years, and I found that Cam became competitive with me throughout college. Like if I went on a date, Cam would ask the same guy out. When I got an internship, Cam submitted an application and asked to be considered, even though the position was closed. I joined a nice gym off campus, Cam joined the same one. I babysat throughout college. Cam found some of the moms through my Facebook and messaged them offering her babysitting services. When I started dating my fiancé, long distance at the time, Cam got his number from Ella and texted asking to meet and grab drinks. Ella is the most passive person I know. She will do whatever she is being pressured into. I'm not a pushy person. I don't feed the need. Cam is extremely pushy and does not like to take no for an answer. Because of this, there have been many times growing up where Ella and I had plans, and she canceled last minute because Cam wanted to hang with her. She's shown me text chains where she said no to Cam 5+ times, but Cam keeps pushing. Ella needs to assert actual boundaries, but whatever. I value her as a person despite this, and I simply stopped viewing most plans with Ella as serious, with some exceptions, such as a non-refundable vacation. And my wedding. I'm getting married in June. Ella is a bridesmaid. Save the Dates went out a year ago. We didn't invite Cam, but she's aware of it. Last week, Ella received a save the date for Cam's wedding. The day after mine, on the other side of the country. Impossible to attend both. Ella has been desperately trying to figure out what to do. Cam asked her to be the MOH. I got a call from Ella yesterday, crying that Cam's pressuring her. Ella said for a compromise, she'll attend my rehearsal and spend the whole day before my wedding with me, then spend my actual wedding day flying out to Cam. I said no. I told her it's ultimately her choice to decide which wedding to attend, but she's not welcome to attend my rehearsal if she's voluntarily skipping the wedding. I reminded her that she said yes to being my bridesmaid almost a year ago, and that she's been prioritizing plans with Cam, pressure or not, over plans with me for our whole lives. I said I will understand whatever choice she makes, but I will also not be willing to continue a friendship with her if she won't honor this commitment. Ella is distraught and begging me to reconsider. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Cam seriously needs some help. This sounds super unhealthy, and Ella needs to grow a spine. If they ditch you for this, you're absolutely better off without them in your life. Frankly, I'd be considering doing it anyway, and take the choice out of her hands. I'll be there the day before, but ditch your actual wedding to go attend hers. How is that remotely a compromise? Ella needs a freaking spine, Jesus Christ. How does she make it in the world? If she picks Cam over you, I hope those two have a happy life together. I would straight up tell my friend, it's her or me. Not the asshole. At all, she said yes to you a year ago. Absolutely not the asshole. She agreed to be your bridesmaid. Cam is the problem here. What any reasonable person does when planning their wedding is ask all the key people you want there if the date fits before booking it. Ella should have declined Cam. But as you say, it's her choice what she does. Like you, I would end the friendship over this. Nothing like a wedding to show you who your friends truly are. Not the asshole. Though I'd honestly be done with Ella too. I don't see how I could come back from this in a friendship. Personally. Not the asshole. I get that it can be hard to set boundaries for some people, but their inability to do so does not give them a free pass to be rude, and quite frankly, a bad friend. If she cannot learn how to be firm, she needs to accept the consequences of her actions. She can't just keep letting you down and expect you to be okay with that. So she doesn't have to say no to Cam. Not only did she say yes to being your bridesmaid first, she is well aware that Cam is doing this intentionally and is enabling this and prioritizing her over you once again. Not the asshole. Definitely go NC with Cam. If Ella can't lay down boundaries with Cam, then go NC with Ella too. This is the stuff the bloodiest thrillers are made from. You have probably put up with far too much nonsense from Cam already. She needs to be blocked on all platforms, and you need to disappear from her horizon, hence the possible need to go NC with Ella as well, if she will keep feeding Cam's unhealthy obsession with you. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law her cooking is terrible? Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law her cooking is terrible? So, my sister-in-law invited my husband and me over for dinner last night. She had been talking up her cooking skills for weeks, claiming she had mastered this amazing recipe for a fancy pasta dish. We were excited to try it, but things took an unexpected turn. When we arrived, she seemed frazzled and disorganized in the kitchen. The house was a bit messy, and it was clear she was struggling to get everything ready. Despite the chaos, we tried to be supportive and offered to help, but she insisted she had everything under control. Finally, the meal was served, and to be honest, it was a disaster. The pasta was overcooked and mushy, the sauce was bland, and the entire dish just lacked any flavor. My husband and I exchanged awkward glances, but we tried to eat as politely as possible. After a few bites, my sister-in-law asked how we liked it. Caught off guard, I hesitated, but then decided to be honest. I told her that while I appreciated her effort, the dish didn't quite meet our expectations. I suggested a couple of improvements she could make for next time. Well, she did not take it well. She immediately got defensive, accusing me of being rude and ungrateful. Things escalated, and it turned into a heated argument. My husband tried to mediate, but it ended with us leaving early and a strained relationship with my sister-in-law. Now my family is divided. Some think I should have kept my opinions to myself and not ruined the evening, while others believe honesty is important, especially when it comes to something as personal as cooking. So Reddit, am I the asshole? I like punchier flavors, expresses your preferences without being as offensive as calling it bland. If you actually described it to her as you did in the post, then yes, you're the asshole. If you were tactful and didn't say any of what you wrote here, then my judgment might change, depending on what was said. You're the asshole. Etiquette demands that when you don't pay for the meal, everything tastes great. Only the chef is allowed to shoot down their own dish, and you must vigorously disagree with the ritual phrase, I like it better this way. You're the asshole. She was clearly having a rough go of it. Cooking is something that is deeply personal. It may not have been great, but that's something you keep to yourself until tensions have calmed a bit. Just have a bit more tact next time and read the room a bit better. Giving unsolicited advice is especially an AH move. I think you should apologize. Didn't quite meet our expectations. This is family dinner, not a Yelp review. You were being rude and you're the asshole. Am I the asshole for leaving a friend because he wasn't on time? I usually pick a friend up for work in the morning, and he's been pushing it to the last minute as I wait out front recently. I don't think I should have to wait. If he makes US late, then I'm obviously late to work too. This morning, he was running behind as usual. I waiting 25 minutes, leaving only 10 minutes to get to work, when it usually takes about 7 to 8. I called him telling him I was about to leave, and he didn't answer, so I left. He was pissed and texted me about it, but I don't really care, Deba. I have to look out for myself. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. F it around and found out. Also, you teach people how to treat you. Not the asshole. You are doing them a favor by picking them up. They make you late there for negatively impacting your workday. You don't need that before work, as work can be stressful enough. My advice would be to tell them either they are in your car before a certain time, or you're not picking them up anymore, and they can find their own way to work. Not the asshole. If it's a pattern especially, he needs to figure it out or find another ride. Not the asshole. New rule. I will be at your door at 7:55 and will be leaving at 8. If you are not AIS, I leave. No exceptions. If this doesn't work for you, then you are welcome to find other means of transport to work. Not the asshole. Of course you aren't. I'm pretty sure your boss isn't going to be cool with, oh, sorry my friend made me late today. Am I the asshole in this situation? I 15F have always had mommy issues. She was somehow abusive during my childhood. I went to therapy after I called CPS and I was diagnosed with depression and OCD. My mother didn't like this result, so I just stopped going and no one ever mentioned it. On Saturday night, I went to the restaurant with my extended family. My parents, my grandparents, my aunt and her fiancé from my mother's side, me, my sister and her boyfriend, 18. My grandpa, my uncle, and his partner Val, my father's side. Everyone was coupled, and they had to seat close to each other. My granddad sat at the heads of the table. The table had 5 places on each long side. I, like others, had a request to seat with my back by the wall, since having my back to the room makes me anxious. When we arrived, only Val and my mom were seated, so I just sat where I wanted. Then my mom told me to switch row side with my back facing the room so that everyone could be partnered up. By that point, everyone was seated. I complained a bit at the table. I admit I cried, but no one noticed. My mother was angry at me for complaining and talking back. The problem did have a solution. It was just a little bit complicated. Everyone could have just swapped row so that my back faced the wall. No one has mobility issues. If everyone's request is being fulfilled, why can't mine be too? I brought this up on Sunday, but my mother said things like, that was the situation, nothing could be done, while something actually could be done. She also said that I should have not complained while there were strangers, my uncle and Val. This made me think that my mother cares more about other people's opinions than my own well-being. Today, I brought it up again, asking for an apology. She began screaming that I was being obnoxious, petty, spoiled, and that I'm still insisting that I'm right. I know that my needs required 9 other people to switch places, but no one really minded, since food wasn't even on the table yet. I know might be wrong, but I still believe that my mother should care more about me than about other people's opinion. Is everyone's request still fulfilled? If I fulfill my daughter request, yes. The moving operation would have lasted a maximum of 2 minutes. Maybe not the easiest choice, but the important thing was that everyone, including me, was happy with their place. I haven't been able to express this paragraph to my mother, as she thinks that the actual problem is the seat and not how she behaved towards me. I think I might be Tatch, BC1. 9 people had to switch places for me to feel relieved. 2. I still insist that I'm right. 3. I want apologies from my mother. Not the asshole, at all. In any way. Can you seek independent help from school or other family members? Because I believe you need therapeutic and medical help. Sending a hug. Am I the asshole for driving my former coworker around for free? I, 52 male, had a coworker, Miley, 23 female. We were working in the same unit, and when I had to retire for medical reasons, we still kept contact. Miley has car-related PTSD, but she owns a car and drives it on a daily basis. A while ago, Miley's car broke down right on the road. It was a brake malfunction, and by sheer luck, she didn't cause an accident. Her car is now fine, but Miley is terrified of getting behind the wheel again, and she doesn't trust other people, except for me, her BF, 26 male, and her father to drive her. Neither her boyfriend nor her father wanted to become her free, full-time personal driver. I don't blame them because it's an exhausting task, considering that Miley needs to be driven almost daily. For me, however, it wasn't that much of a hassle. My disability doesn't prevent me from driving. But since I had to sell my car to cover medical expenses, I was pretty much confined to my house for the most part. We had a deal. I'll be her free, full-time driver, but she'd let me use her car when she won't need it. I've got nothing to do. For me, driving her around is a way to get out. I enjoy driving, and having a car that I could use almost freely is a huge plus. Miley is paying for most car-related expenses. I know a bunch of things about cars, so I was able to fix up some stuff in her car for free. I also think it's unethical to charge her for my driver services because it was caused by something she can't control. I'm not the person to take advantage of someone who's struggling. It works perfectly fine for us. I even started to condition her back into driving. By now, she can confidently drive around when the streets are empty, and we both hope she recovers soon. The issues arose when her boyfriend found out. He accused Miley of cheating and went as far as to openly confront me, saying that I have an affair with Miley and that I'm taking advantage of her by using her car for my personal errands for free. I didn't want to deal with his bullshit and just blocked his number, which caused him to lash out at Miley. Miley said that he's an asshole and that if he loved her at least a little, he'd be the one driving her around. He said I'm the asshole who destroyed his relationship. I personally don't think I'm an asshole, but I'm still curious to hear other opinions. Not the asshole. You were engaged in mutually beneficial agreement with Miley. What happens in her personal life is her problem to sort out. However, if you now find the arrangement uncomfortable or difficult due to harassment from her boyfriend, then you are well within your rights to quit. Not the asshole, but Miley keeping it a secret was not smart and probably ruined her relationship, as why would hide something like this from your BF? So he obviously imagined the worst possible scenario and went with it. There is no fault of yours at all, Miley, however, have to rethink about her relationship and about keeping secrets. You're not an AH for giving a friend a ride. You're the asshole for being predatory, encouraging a young woman almost half your age to be dependent on you. Your story is contradictory. She owns a car and drives it on a daily basis, but is terrified of getting behind the wheel again. Where does Miley need to go almost daily that she requires a full-time driver? Who does Miley's boyfriend think has been carting her around for 8 hours every day if he didn't know about you? Why doesn't Miley still work? Or is she an Amazon delivery person and that's why she needs to be driven around full-time? If you personally don't feel you're the AH, then you lied when you answered the time. The judgment bot asked you why you think you're the AH. How did you qualify as disabled if you are capable of being a full-time driver? Do you collect disability benefits? And does the pay or know that you can work full-time at an exhausting task? Not the asshole. You are genuinely a good person. And this guy tried to paint you as the villain. Most likely he is cheating and he is projecting on you and Miley. He's the only AH in this story. It sounds like you walked into something between her and her BF. I would personally back out of it to avoid their BS. Not the asshole. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.